So today we are going to discuss the order of operation, and this is very important because this is like the basic. Okay. Now previously we have done, for example, if you have -2 times 3 times -4.
3, 4.
Okay. Now you see, if you have, for example, a minus sign in front of a number and you put a bracket, yeah, for example, like this, and say we have -4. So when you have minus at the front of the bracket, this simply means you multiply with a -1. Yeah, so in this case you have -1 and then times this number. We have now -1 times -4, and that gives you 8. Yeah, so sorry. So -1 times -4. That is just 4. Yeah. So the same thing also if you have now minus, for example, 25. So that's the same thing.
-1 times 25.
Yes, -25, right? And let's suppose you have something like this now. -2, and then put a bracket, -7. So this is actually the same like before. If you have 1, actually we don't have to write a 1 here because simply by default if this is just minus like that, that simply means it's 1. Yeah. Now if you have -2 and then you have a bracket, there's a number in there. What you do is -2 times -7. Right, and therefore you have now 14. Or if you have now -3 times 20. So it's like -3 times
60.
Oh, be careful. You have -3 and then times 20.
-60.
-60. So the use of bracket is actually very important because the first the first usage here is to, when you have negative number in front of something, you can put bracket, okay? But the second thing is actually when you use bracket, that tells us which operation we need to do first. For example, if you have something like this, yeah, 6 times 2 plus 1.
6 times 2 plus 1 is 13.
So, in this case, you will do the multiplication first rather than you do this addition, because in this case, multiplication, so by the level, multiplication is stronger, it's higher. So multiplication and division, it's higher, yeah, than the addition or subtraction. Now, in this case, we have to do 6 times 2 first, and that gives you 12. And after that, you will add with 1. But sometimes, if I want to perform, in this case, now I put a bracket here. So this is the second use of bracket. Normally, that tells you which operation you need to do first. So in that case, when you have now something like this, that means, so you have to look at what's in the bracket here, and then you will do what it is, in this case 2 plus 1, and they give you 3. And of course, when you calculate this now, 6 times 3, this is 18, and that difference from this result. So this one was 13. Okay. Now let me give you the other example, yeah? So what about 7 plus 6 divided by 2?
7 plus 6 divided by 2 is 10.
Okay, so How did you get that number?
You told me that division is a higher level than addition.
Yeah.
So you have to do the division equation first.
Uh-huh.
So then I did 6 divided by 2, which made 3, and 3 plus 7 makes 10.
Okay, good. Now, when you have now something like this, you know, I put a bracket here. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So you see now what you have to do is what's inside the bracket first.
Which is 13.
13. Oh, actually, it's divided by 2. Yeah.
Okay.
So now you have 13 divided by 2, which is 6.5. You know, 13 divided by 2 is 6.5.
6.5.
Now let's do a bit longer. Yeah. For example, we have okay, 9 times 10 minus 7 times 3.
Okay. 263.
How did you get the number?
So now I had to do 9 times 10. Wait. 9 times 10 first.
Okay, and that
which
gives
is
you
90. And then there's another multiplication thing here.
Yes.
So I times 90 by 3, which made 270. And then I minus 7.
Oh, okay. So after you got 90,
I
and then you
times it by
multiplied with 3, so that gives you 270.
Yeah,
And then you minus 7. Okay. Actually, that's not the right answer. So the answer is not 263. Yeah, because what happened is this 3, it's multiplied by this number minus 7.
Negative 7.
So you know, even though you know that multiplication and division is stronger, it's higher level than the addition or subtraction, but you have to look at the order how they are arranged. So in this case, now if you have this number multiplied by minus 7, yeah, what happens is this will give you minus 21. So in this case, you do not multiply 90 by that number by 3 and then you subtract by 7, even though they are all multiplication. But in this case, the order how they represent here, that is more important. So in this case, you see, we have to multiply now this 3 and minus 7 also, okay, which give us minus 21, right?
Yeah.
And then you now subtract 90 minus 21.
So you subtract
90.
Negative 21 from 90.
Yeah, so that gives you 69.
Okay.
So look, this is actually quite interesting. Now, you know, when you have, say, let's say you have now 9 times 10 times 3 minus 7. Therefore, what you thought before was correct. So in this case, you have 90 and then you multiply by 3 and that gives you 270, right? And then you subtract by 7, that gives us 263. But when it's written like this now, yeah, that times 3, it's at the back, and what happens is you have to multiply with this number first. Okay. But now what about this? If you have, for example, 9 times Now look at this. I put a bracket here.
Okay. $81.
Yes, very good. So you know what to do. Basically,
You have
what's
to
in
do
the bracket.
the one in the bracket first, which
Uh-huh.
makes 3. I times it by 9.
Yes, and
Which
they give
made
you 81.
27, and then I times 27 by 3, which made 81.
Well done. Let's do some more here.
Okay.
So, for example, if I have now
Okay. $21.
So how did you get that number?
88 divided by 8 is 11.
Yes.
And it had minus here, so I minus the 6 from 11, which made 5.
Uh-huh.
And then I times 5 with this 5, which made 25, and then I minus 4.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. So actually be careful. Now again, the first thing that you did was correct. So you divided this 88 by 8, okay? Now what happened is actually when you have, you know, like operation, yeah, like this expression, the whole thing here, you have to look at the multiplication and the division first, yeah, where you can find them. So in this case, we also have another multiplication. See, you have now, see, this is minus 6 times 5. And then comes first in this case. So you have to do now minus 6 times 5. In this case, you have minus 30.
Okay.
And then minus 4. So what happened is now you have 11 and then minus 30 and then minus 4.
Yes.
So there is negative what?
That is negative that is negative 15.
How did you get that number?
So yeah, okay. So 11 minus 30 makes negative 19.
Yes.
And then I minus 4 from it,
yeah.
which made negative 15.
No. Be careful. The first one was correct. 11 minus 30 gives us minus 19. Yeah, that was correct.
Oh wait. negative 23.
Yes, actually the answer is negative 23. Okay, be careful. Yeah, that's something that yeah, commonly happen. Okay, now what about if I actually give so 88 divided by 8 minus 6 times 5 minus 4, and I put a bracket here.
Okay. 5.
Okay, how did you get that number?
So I had to do this first, which made 1. So 1 took its spot there. And then 88, I went there to do 88 divided by 8,
yes.
which makes 11.
Yes.
And minus 6, which made 5, and then I times it by 1.
Okay. Okay, let me give you something similar like this, but look at this one now, yeah? What about this?
Okay, that makes 10.
Okay, how did you get a number?
5 minus 3 is 2.
Yes.
It took its spot there. And then
this is 11.
Yeah, 11 minus 6, which makes 5. So it took its spot there. And then I had to times 5 by 2.
No, okay, this is interesting. You see, now after you do 5 minus 3, and that gives you 2.
Yeah.
Now, and then let's say you write the whole thing like this now, yeah? So you know this 88 divided by 8 give us 11, right? And then let's just write all of them now. 11 minus 6 times 2. So what happened is actually when you have something like this now, yeah, what you need to do is you have to now multiply that minus 6 times 2. Yeah, and that gives us negative 12.
Okay.
Now, you see, we have 11 minus 12.
Which makes negative 1.
Negative 1. Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit tricky actually because, you know, when you are trying to do some multiple calculation like this, yeah, you have to pay attention with which one comes first. You know what I mean? Yeah. Let's do one more time. Yeah, let's do one more time and then we finish. Okay.
Okay. So I have to do the timesing one first, which is 3 times 4.
Yes. So what's that?
That makes 12.
Okay. And then I suggest we will write down everything like this.
Okay, and then I need to do 12 divided by 6, I'm pretty sure. And then that makes 2.
Okay, good. Now let's write down one more time the whole thing.
And then 9 minus 2 makes 7, plus 5, which makes 12, and then plus 2, which makes 14.
Very good, very good. So now what do you think when you are now dealing with this kind of multiple operation which involve multiplication, division, and then addition and...
It's okay.
It's okay. Yeah, just look at which comes first, yeah, and then even though you don't have a bracket in there, but you have to see which calculation you need to do first. Now, if I have this, but I'll put a bracket, yes? Okay. So 9 minus 2 plus 5 plus 3 times 4 divided by 6, but I want to put a bracket here.
Okay. And then...
Okay,
it doesn't make sense.
Why it doesn't make sense?
That makes 2, and then you have to times it by 4, which makes 8. And then you divide it by 6, but okay. 8 isn't a multiple of 6.
Right, I'll change the number, but actually we can divide it. But at this point, I'll do a bit of different number, yeah?
Okay. 8. The answer is 8. Wait. Yeah, the answer is... Wait, no. 9. I mean 7, pretty sure.
Okay, let's do. How did you get the number 7?
Wait, no, it's 8.
Okay, let's see. So how did you get the number 8?
5 plus, it's
Okay.
plus, not minus.
5
Okay.
plus 3, yeah.
That makes 8.
That makes 8. Okay, then you
Okay,
have this, yeah.
Yeah,
Let's just write all of them now.
that makes 8, and then it's.
Oh, sorry, this is 8. Yeah, this is 8. Okay,
It
this
makes,
is 8.
it's 32, and then divided by 8.
Okay, so you know this is 32 4. Divided by 8, and that gives you 4. Okay.
30, yeah, 4. And then 9 minus 2 is 7, plus 4 is 11.
Good. Now look, so just careful when you decide which calculation that comes first, because that will determine the whole thing, right? Yeah. And usually if you have like addition or subtraction and then you want to do them first, we will put bracket for it. We will put bracket. Otherwise, what you do is just the other calculation which involve multiplication or division first.
Papa, if I'm in my school and it has like multiplication and subtraction or something like that, and the multiplications after the subtraction, am I still allowed to like am I still allowed to do the multiplication first?
Yeah, because see, this is the convention, this is the agreement.
I think my teacher will like agree with me, but I'm not sure about my friends.
No, I guess everyone will agree, because that's how we do the calculation, especially when they involve, multiplication and then division and then addition or subtraction.